Omega is an online retailer. Each day, Omega's employees access several cloud-based apps. Omega uses SafeNet Trusted Access by Gemalto to centrally define and enforce access policies and conveniently offer single sign-on for all cloud applications. SafeNet Trusted Access has already been set up as an identity provider for all corporate cloud applications. Let's see how an IT admin would define and enforce access policies to those applications using a global policy, exception policies, and scenarios. The admin has already defined the global policy, which is the fallback policy. If no policy applies to an access attempt, the global policy will be applied. To be safe, Omega has decided to require a high level of authentication when the global policy applies, asking the user to enter a password and a one-time passcode for each application they want to access. The admin can create granular rules by creating an exception policy. With the first exception policy, Omega will ease authentication for internal employees. The admin gives the policy a name, adds a short description, tags which group this policy will apply to, here internal employees, and makes it applicable to all apps. Once the scope is defined, the access requirements are set so SafeNet Trusted Access will grant access to internal employees if they enter their domain password and a one-time passcode only once for each single sign-on session they initiate. A scenario is defined under a policy and can be added based on specific conditions. For example, Omega creates a scenario which will make it easier for their internal employees to access cloud applications from inside the corporate network. All the admin has to do is add a scenario, name it, select the network condition, and type in the company's local IP. Then they loosen the access requirements by only requiring a password per session. From now on, each time an internal employee accesses an app from the office, they'll only be required to enter their domain password once per single sign-on session. An unlimited number of scenarios can be added, for example, preventing access from high-risk countries or increasing the level of authentication while on a specific OS. Combining conditions is also possible. To better fit their usage, Omega has defined other policies, like enabling a simpler authentication experience when users access less sensitive applications. In this case, only a password is required per session. Another policy targets external contractors and external user groups as they're considered a bigger security risk. For each session opened, they'll have to enter a one-time passcode with their domain password. Additionally, a scenario is defined to deny access once outside of the corporate network. Admins can easily and quickly edit existing policies and scenarios. In fact, it takes less than a minute to add or remove a group or an app, or change the level of authentication, giving you the flexibility to optimize access controls as needed. As only one policy applies to each access attempt, SafeNet Trusted Access will evaluate and determine which policy applies by matching the scope. The first policy that has its scope matched wins. So it's important to rank the policies. With SafeNet Trusted Access, ensuring secure and reliable access to corporate cloud data has never been so intuitive and flexible, making it easier to centrally manage a trusted cloud environment and offer smart single sign-on to end users.